Here we are, back again with the completed, or basically completed, restoration of the Century / Konami track and field cocktail game. Just finished it up a little while ago. It's actually just waiting for the piece of tempered glass to go on top. What you're seeing there is the smoked plexiglass that goes underneath it. I know it looks like you can see the monitor right now. If you actually turn the lights off, you can see that it darkens it up pretty nicely. This looks a little nicer when the game is off. You don't quite see it. As a matter of fact, even with these lights on, you still see the monitor, but it's pretty dark. You almost don't see it at all. So in any event, we got this game. It was in good shape. If you remember, the control panels were pretty lousy, though. They were just all beat up and nasty, and the buttons were all gross. And there were some scuffs on the cabinet, and some paint flaking off. The coin door was a little chipped up and whatnot, but the game was working. And what we've done to it, we've done a complete cosmetic rehab on it. All the painted surfaces were sanded clean. You can see they have just like a nice semi-gloss finish on it now. That was all repainted. The sides got new wood grain vinyl. The original fiber board on this actually had it printed directly to it. It wasn't like it was a decal that would come off. So, but we have new presidential walnut on here. All the hardware has been repainted. The original hardware was actually a bronze anodized, which is, there's no real way to reproduce that right now. So we just painted them black. They were all scuffed up and nasty, and most of it was chipping and didn't look so good. But the coin door got repainted. That's all cleaned up. We have lights in the coin mechanisms there, so they light up when we turn the game on. Again, of course, the sides, you can see that nice smooth finish there. I mean, that looks just really good. This side was, for whatever reason, didn't want to work out as we were painting it. The paint kept bubbling. It wasn't crazing or cracking, and it wasn't like there was any wax or anything underneath it. We had, watch out, Otis. Let's go. Move. Definitely cleaned it, prepped it, sanded it, primed it. Naphtha. I don't know why it was crazy like that, but we had to sand it down entirely after a few coats. You can see there's just one little decal I left on it there, and that was the South Carolina tax decal. It's actually got a date on it from 1983, 1984, so it gives it a little vintage and kind of dates it. Just thought it would be kind of cute to leave it, so we left that there. We just covered over and painted around it. Again, so all new T-molding around the entire game. Again, the hardware's been repainted. Decal on the wood grain vinyl decal on this side, and of course the control panels. These really help make the game. I mean, they're just really nice, high quality reproduction decals for these. The overlays are really nice. New buttons, of course. These are all brand new buttons. No reason not to get new buttons when you have everything else that's brand new. So those came out really nice. I mean, it just feels really great to play this thing. You know, lock and key set. Not much done on the inside, but there was some wiring that we cleaned up and fixed. The interlock switch has now been replaced, so that's where it should be, so the game won't power on when this panel is off. There were some ground braid issues. Of course, we have a new monitor in here, and the new monitor has remote controls, so you can change all the parameters and color and whatnot from here, as opposed to having to reach in, which is a nice feature. We were going to change the power supply, but to be honest with you, this one checks out good. And the reason we were going to replace it was because I thought the fan in the power supply was really the thing making all the noise. It turns out that the fan underneath, which you can't see it here, but it's underneath in the bottom in here. It's just a really loud fan. The reason that is because this game gets a little hot. Not any more hot, I suppose, than any other game, but in any event, that fan this game was meant to be left on like 24/7. So I guess that fan was just meant to be pushing a lot of air all the time. Actually, cleaning it up and getting all the dust and stuff that was in it, or in the grill, and everything else, and we cleaned up all the other vents and whatnot. It's actually a whole lot quieter now, so I don't think there's going to be an issue with that as far as the customer's concerned. Again, there was no remote switch, so the game was turned on every time you plugged it in, and you can see it's plugged in and it's not on. So we actually installed a new wasn't here before, remote switch underneath it, so we'll turn that on, and you'll hear it. It powers right up, which is great. And I mean, again, you hear the fan, but it's not like it's whining or really aggravating or anything else, so it's fine. Not going to be a problem. Again, here's the new monitor. I haven't taken off the covering, the plastic yet. You probably may not be able to see it on this video, but I'm waiting for the piece of glass today. And as soon as I get the glass, we'll peel that off, blow all the dust out of it for final assembly. We'll put the glass on it and just bolt it down, and it's ready to go. The only thing that I have been having a problem finding so far were the original. They're kind of mushroom head Allen bolts. You know, they're rounded over so that you don't, rub your hand against it and hit some sharp edge. I mean, at least 3. There's actually supposed to be 3 on each side, but the player 3 and 4 side didn't have any for whatever reason. It had these in it, which somebody obviously replaced at some point. Now again, I said that each panel is supposed to have 3 bolts. I only put 2 in because the middle bolt goes right about here, and it's kind of ugly, like right in the middle of the logo. The hole's there, I just haven't cut it out. I mean, you can certainly put it in, but I've noticed that so far, even with just the 2 bolts, there's really no rattling or anything, and I'm guessing that once we get the glass in here, I'm going to tighten this down, it'll be completely fine. So I'm not going to put the extra bolt in the middle just to bolt it down. I mean, nobody's going to break into this. Nobody's looking to steal any quarters out of it. It's going to be on a free play anyway. But another thing about this game, which was kind of neat, if you remember, is this game was it is a cocktail game, which is fairly rare for this track and field. However, it looks like, and again, it came with, or at least was optioned to get the pedestal or base, or I think some people call it the foot. Which again, this was completely taken apart, sanded, primed. Edges were filled in. There's a lot of broken and chipped edges on the bottom, of course, from people kicking it over the years and whatnot. So, of course, they've got the same nice semi-gloss paint and T-molding and vinyl and hardware and the whole bit. New leg levelers underneath, new feet. Here's the bracket for the new monitor. Of course, the bracket for the new monitor is a vertically oriented monitor, so I had to fit it into the original bracketry inside the game. We had to modify that a little bit. These monitors, CRT, like VGA arcade monitors, they're basically almost extinct at this point. Everybody's going to LCD. Again, being it's a vintage game, I prefer to have the vintage look to it. The brand new monitor, of course, makes it look great. It's really bright. There's no burn-in. You know, of course, having the new components, it's going to last in a home use setting pretty much for the life of the game. I can't imagine this thing won't be still running here for another, assuming the board it holds up, and it should be fine. 20 more years, 30 years more. I mean, as long as they take care of it, it shouldn't really be a problem. Again, the game's not going to be on. It shouldn't really burn in. And aside from having a cap kit done, maybe way off in the future, assuming they take care of it, this game should stay in this kind of shape for quite some time. As you can see, as the coin door is lit, looks real nice. I mean, this game just really came together nicely. I'm real happy with the end result. The battery in it, of course, for backup was dead. We had to replace that, and that works fine now. I had to put in a new battery holder because the original one was actually soldered into the board. Kind of a weird, but anyway, that was fixed. So I'm gonna leave the base off until it gets delivered this weekend. Basically, because this game is freaking heavy as heck. I would bet that this thing weighs almost as much as a stand-up. Not quite, but I mean, it's got to be close to 300 pounds when it's all finished and done. It was kind of a bear to get it in the truck and travel here, and I don't want to mess it up. So we're gonna just save a little bit of weight, bring the base in the house. We'll dolly the game itself in afterwards. The two of us will pick it up, put it on top, and we'll bolt it to the bottom so that it's not going to move where it's going from. Heck, he may even decide he likes it just the way it is without the foot or base, as it is. Probably not, but in any case, he's got his choice. That's the deal. So shouldn't be a problem. Again, this is basically it. This is the end result. You can refer back to the original video that shows the condition it was in. Again, it wasn't beat to heck, but it certainly wasn't this nice. Between the control panels, the monitor, and the new vinyl, it just looks basically brand new, which is nice. And of course it plays like it did because it's the original game. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I know, again, this is a fairly rare game in this configuration. And they made 2 versions. The second version that came out with a trackball in it, but this is the original one. And I have never seen one of these cocktail games. And again, when I found out what it was and that it was, again, not readily available, we basically decided to snatch it up no matter what. Again, the customer decided that he liked it enough with the pedestal, and it was not dinky as he expected. The midway cocktail tables like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, you know, those are, well, I guess in comparison they're a little dinky, but you can see that this one is just way more substantial, and when it's on its base, it makes it almost feel like a stand-up, and it plays like it too. So, all right, well, again, I hope you enjoyed that. On to the next one. Take care, folks. Bye.